Frugia, and I'll be your next informative speaker. Since you all are ready, with 0 minutes and 0 seconds counting up, then I will begin. We're used to lots of types of weather in the Pacific Northwest. Rain, rain, drizzle, rain, showers, fog, rain, downpours, and the occasional sunburst. The weather can be weirder, wilder, and more unexpected than we can imagine, and we're going to explore that today. Just how crazy weather can be and why. I'm sure you're familiar with the water cycle. Water starts in the ocean, and then we have evaporation, condensation into clouds, and then downporation. Precipitation on the land. Streams flow into the ocean, and the cycle begins again. And that is why the Pacific Northwest is so green. Rain. And it can rain like cats and dogs. But have actual animals rained down? Well, in 2021, Channel 5 News out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, headlined this title: "Something Fishy. Rain even drops fish on Texarkana." The article went on to describe actual fish found in parking lots and yards all over the Texas side of the city. Fish rain happened in Australia in 2010. The news site moneycontrol.com quoted their Central Desert counselor saying, "It was the most amazing thing we've ever seen. The fish was still alive as they fell from the sky, and the children in the town rushed to collect them and keep them in jars." But even weirder, to see seafood fall from the sky? Tomo News reported on this happening in 2018 in Qingdao, a coastal town in China, during a terrible storm. Sea creatures such as shrimp, octopus, starfish, and mollusks were being cast in the sky. Locals were reportedly stunned to see marine creatures falling from the heavens. The phrase "seafood rain" trended on Chinese social media as locals shared their pictures of the event online. I saw a picture posted on their YouTube news broadcast. Imagine an octopus plummeting head first, tentacles waving behind his head like Medusa with her snake hair flailing helplessly around. Imagine the splat. I also saw stories about jellyfish raining in England in 1894, worms raining in Louisiana in 2007, tadpoles raining in Japan in 2009, frogs raining twice in Hungary in 2010. With all those frog legs, I bet they weren't hungry anymore. And spiders raining in Australia in 2015. These are weird, wild weather events. So, how does it happen? The most common explanation is simpler than it seems. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration explains this phenomenon. First, a waterspout forms. That's a spinning column of air and mist that forms on lakes, rivers, or oceans. And the suction is so strong that it can pull creatures right out of the water. They go into the sky, are carried by winds to where they eventually drop on some unexpected city or a person. And if there are cats or dogs swimming in the water, and if the waterspout hits in the right place at the right time, it could literally be raining cats and dogs. Or swirl cats and dogs as strong winds pick them up and then form a tornado. James Spann's TED Talk on tornadoes helped me understand how they form. He said, "Tornadoes are rapidly rotating columns of air that form inside storms, then connect with the ground, making a funnel of cloud. When this happens, they tear across the earth, posing a huge threat to life and property." But the truth is there's a lot to tornadoes that researchers don't know in more tornado phenomena. You've probably actually seen dust devils, or dustnadoes, as I like to call them. Weatherman Leon Dutton explained that they're caused usually on hot sunny days by two areas of ground that heat up differently, like asphalt, dirt, or irrigated fields and dirt roads. This makes a little mini area of low pressure. Air from the ground rushes up to replace the rising hot air, making the whirling dustnado. That's easy to spot because of all the dirt and debris in it. These can do damage, but usually not as much. Much more beautiful is the snow NATO, much like the dust NATO, but white. One was captured on camera at Breckenridge Ski Resort last January in Colorado. Fox Weather interviewed Dree Kinder and she said,
"It was quite a chaotic day in the mountains. The winds were really high and we saw a lot of snow. Then we saw the snow blowing down at the base and it just started swirling. It was kind of shocking at first. Nobody really knew what to do. Do we take out our phone? Do we clip our boots and run?" But it only lasted about a minute. I knew it wasn't a real tornado.
but imagine if it wasn't dust or snow, but fire that was whirling up into the sky in the form of a tornado. I'm sure you can imagine how scary that would be. It most often happens during wildfires and sometimes earthquakes, like the 1923 Great Earthquake in Tokyo, Japan. Smithsonian Magazine said that it caused a terrifying 300-foot fire tornado. National Weather Service Warning Coordination meteorologist Courtney Carpenter said,
When fire gets going and exhibits extreme fire behavior, it creates its own weather. So it can produce severe thunderstorms with really gusty winds. And it can cause that smoke from it generates to rotate around like a tornado.
the fires in Los Angeles this January had something like that caught on camera, but experts think it might be a more common fire world instead. Climate scientists told USA Today that it's more like a dust NATO, but with fire. I don't think you've ever seen a fire tornado, but I bet you've seen lightning. National Geographic says that lightning is a giant electric spark that can even be 5 miles long. Even though it's super spectacular, it's actually really common, as up to 100 lightning bolts can strike the earth every second. Another grand phenomenon I've discovered is volcanic lightning. Volcanic lightning occurs when an erupting volcano creates its own weather, and electrical charges build up between its clouds and the earth below. The resulting lightning storm is spectacular. I wish I could show you the pictures taken on Saldavia, Alaska on geologies.com's website. The images were like, I imagine Mount Sinai when the Lord spoke to Moses there, and the people below were terrified. So, how many times do you think somebody could get struck by lightning and survive? Roy Cleveland was an American park ranger in Shenandoah National Park in Virginia, and according to the Guinness Book of World Records, he holds the title for the most lightning strikes survived. 7. He was struck by lightning 7 times and survived. He sure earned his nickname, Bzz, the human lightning conductor. Finally, there are 2 different weather phenomena that resembles portals into another world. The first is a subsun. It looks like a giant oval ball of light hanging in the air, and it is most often seen from airplanes, but people have viewed it in the mountains. One in Austria looked to be about 20 feet tall and like an angel could step right out of it. Science Times explains it like this. It usually occurs in cold regions with clear conditions, where the ice crystals allow the sunlight to pass through. As the sunlight reflects off the ice crystals floating in the atmosphere, a strange halo is created. Since the ice crystal is usually not perfectly horizontal, the subsun is usually seen in an elongated shape. The second being a hole punch cloud. It looks like it usually occurs in cold region. It occurs in certain types of cumulus clouds, and according to sciencefocus.com, is thought to appear when the water temperature in the cloud is freezing, but hasn't formed ice crystals yet. When ice crystals do form, a chain reaction can occur that leads to water droplets evaporating, leaving a massive hole in the cloud. Scientists also believe that it can be helped along by a passing disturbance, like a plane or maybe random fish. In conclusion, I hope you found our weather as interesting as I did. I stumbled upon this project while reading a book for school, and I see rain, drizzle, and the occasional sunburst at my house. So it's fun to learn about all the interesting and sometimes scary weather phenomena of our world. Weather is certainly weird, wild, and wonderful. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I accidentally hit the minute button to stop it, but it was at 9:56.
Show me your time, right there.
Oh. Well, Mr. Fifield, thank you. Mrs. Nixon, thank you. And Mrs.